and welcome to our webinar today on how to manage your bill of materials like a pro. First, I want to thank everybody for being here and taking the time out of your busy day and joining us. During this event, everybody will be on mute. However, there'll be time at the end of the webinar for some questions and answers. This event is being recorded and will be made available for viewing and sharing with your colleagues within the next week or so. My name is Tanya Petralia, and for the next 30 minutes, Tom is going to take you through some of the common challenges that our customers face when managing their bill of materials and how PDM and PLM can help. Also on the call is Imran and Shaya, who will help answer your questions at the end. So with that, let's get going and begin our webinar. Over to you, Tom.
Thank you for that introduction, Tanya. Welcome, everyone. We are really happy and thankful that you could join us today. Typically, when our customers go through the development cycle of a new product, they create a lot of information. And as you know, there are a lot of different tools that you use to develop your products. We're going to talk about how you take all that data, all that valuable information, and make the most of it. This will help you build a better product, streamline your development process, and reduce your overall time to market. Bill of materials management never really ends. It spans the entire product lifecycle. As you are working through your product's lifecycle, your bill of materials will change and evolve over time. And managing a bill of materials ends up being a very complex process. We know that during the evolution of a bill of materials, there are challenges. In fact, a survey completed by Tech Clarity in 2019 saw that challenges with configuration and BOM management are ranked second, only behind managing change. And there are a lot of challenges managing the bill of materials, including the many sources of change and the ever-evolving product requirements. So how do we handle these challenges? One way is through spreadsheets. Some people say that the most popular PLM system in the world is Microsoft Excel. It's so easy to use, and most people have it right at their fingertips. We will just say any spreadsheet in general, because there are other tools like Google Docs for describing your product design, your bill of materials. You do whatever you can with the tools you have available, no matter how manual or error-prone they may be. But there must be a better way. And there's another concern. Where are these files stored? Are they in the network folder? Is it secure? Or worse yet, is it on someone's computer? Or maybe even buried in an attachment in an email? So let's start with the engineering bill of materials. The engineering BOM is a way to capture the intent for your design. But the intent is more than just geometry. There are part numbers, descriptions, quantities, and a multitude of other metadata or properties that make up the intent. There's also the way that you structure your design. The way that you build assemblies and sub-assemblies will typically describe how the product is to be produced, assembled, procured, and so on. All of this goes into the functional design of your product. At a high level, the designer or engineer puts all the design intent and structure into a CAD model. In many cases for our customers, it's an inventor assembly, but it doesn't have to be. Inside an inventor assembly, you have a bill of materials tab. It's up there on the assemble ribbon. Click on bill of materials and it's going to show you everything you've been working on. This includes the order of all the parts that were designed, the structure, the substructure, and of course, all the other data. CAD is where you capture your design intent and start to build out your bill of materials. However, the engineering BOM is not static. It evolves over time, relative to the changes brought to it from various sources inside and outside the organization to continuously improve on that design. And as those changes take place, you will need to document, review, and track the changes. But most importantly, you need to communicate that change to all the stakeholders. Now, to manage the design intent of the user as it evolves, we start with everything that was designed in CAD. And bring all that intent into a product data management system like Vault PLM. Here, we're looking at that same assembly as before, including all the nested components and data, but in a secure environment. It is CAD aware and understands inventor BOM types like purchased, phantom, inseparable, virtual. You get the idea. It allows you to manage your bill of materials in Canvas with Inventor and dozens of other applications, including AutoCAD Mechanical, Electrical, SolidWorks and Creo, even PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. All these other applications that are part of your design and that contribute heavily to one comprehensive bill of materials. But rather than manually managing spreadsheets, you can create, track change, review, and share your engineering bill of materials inside the same application you use to manage your design data. This ensures it's always up to date with the latest product design and development data. The best way to accomplish this is product data management with Vault PLM. Better products start with better BOM management. So let's talk about the next step. The next step is enterprise BOM management. You need to share your bill of materials with downstream functions like procurement, manufacturing, quality, and service, so they are working with a complete definition of the product for better product performance and better business results. Here you configure and manage structured bill of materials in a centralized system where all authorized users can access the information they need when they need it. It ensures component part and assembly information is easy to navigate and understand. It applies revision control to ensure everyone is referencing the correct version to reduce the risk of downstream errors and rework, whether they are buying or building. Enterprise BOM management bridges the gap between departments in your organization with a controlled, centralized way to manage product data, ensuring all stakeholders are collaborating around the latest version of the product. So we're talking about a centralized location where we can share this information with people outside of engineering and even with people outside your company. And we can share it safely and securely. Bill of material management has an impact on the supply chain and supplier management. It has an impact on new product introduction and new product development. It has an impact on change management. So let's take a closer look. So your teams need access to all the product development information, data, and processes that your company is creating and managing. We can take all that information that was inside of the engineering BOM, maybe include information from other design tools, and even some manual inputs to continue to define a more complete bill of materials. The information captured can very easily be configured to your needs. Any type of information or documents can be associated. For example, manufacturing technical specification sheets. Rather than having those documents living somewhere like in a folder on a network server, they live with the item itself. When we start to create items in a bill of materials, we can start to see the history that item has gone through, its life cycles leading up to its release. Now you can easily define multiple configurable BOM views so people can see contextual product information that is most relevant to their specific role. This provides stakeholders across your entire organization with real-time product information for better decision-making and quicker workflows. So we also have the ability to take that entire bill of material and flatten it. It rolls up all the items, removing the hierarchy, so that we have a flat list with quantities. For many departments in an organization, this can be a massive time saver. We can also include suppliers and customers in specific workflows governed by access control. So using this advanced role-based permission system, outside suppliers, customers, and contractors can edit and update information in a collaborative environment. And it's this collaboration that ensures your organization uses accurate supplier information when specifying and procuring components and services. These supplier management workflows help you track and audit their work to speed up development cycles. For internal and external customers, you can easily create standardized product data and company part catalogs for increased findability and part reuse. This helps to save time and eliminate rework. So let's continue with suppliers a bit more and look at how we can manage comprehensive information about suppliers in a single system. This includes approved manufacturer lists and approved vendor lists. This gives you a complete list of the components each supplier provides and their strategic importance to your organization. That might change by region or product line or even due to a change, but we can keep track of and control all of it inside one system. Knowing where you have been is critical to knowing where you are now and where you're going. You can quickly identify what has changed when releasing a new version of your product or the difference between two similar products. A common scenario is to compare left-hand and right-hand builds of a similar component. The BOM comparison capability can be used on different revisions, configurations, and date effectivities of the same product or on two different products. This offers an easy-to-understand graphical indication of the differences between the two. Traceability of the history of a product can be more easily achieved by analyzing previous iterations, helping you meet compliance requirements. And we can compare the current bill of materials to the past and the future. So this gives you the ability to see what this bill of material will look like, even if there's something that has a change pending. It's on a change order. It's not finished yet, but let's review what this will look like in the future. We can see the bill of materials in its past, present, and future states. See how the bill of materials evolved and is going to evolve over time. It's this type of functionality that, frankly, is nearly impossible to do inside spreadsheets that gives you full control over your bill of material. This is especially nice for purchasing departments that must deal with long lead time items, or for people that are concerned with inventory. This is super valuable functionality. Product lifecycle management provides change management workflows to help departments efficiently automate and document revisions. These change management workflows enforce control over revisions to designs, items, and records, all those things that make up your bill of materials, during the many phases of your product lifecycle, all the way from development and production, all the way through to end of life. Along the way, if there's a problem with an item, perhaps it's a supplier, maybe it's the part, maybe how it's being manufactured, we can create a non-conformance. This gives you the ability and the process to deal with the changes related to quality issues and have them tied back to the item being changed. This provides you with a closed loop system centered around a single source of the truth for product data and all the associated documents and files. And as others are working with the BOM, they can see which components are subject to a pending change. This ensures that anyone accessing the bill of materials is made aware that the item is under a change. This in turn ensures that decisions are not made based on information that may soon be out of date. And as you would expect, there is direct access to the details of the proposed change within that same environment, allowing everyone to make better decisions. If you currently have all your BOM information in spreadsheets, you can easily import that valuable information to be used in Vault PLM, where it can benefit from managed processes and increased visibility. Ideally, we would be able to help you integrate Vault PLM to your other business systems in order to synchronize bill of materials, items, and BOM structures for costing, inventory, and final execution. However, once it has been properly managed in Vault PLM and it's ready to move on, we could export it out in a neutral format to be imported into another system. So there are several companies that benefit from bill of materials management with Vault PLM. ECI is one such company that has standardized their bill of materials and change process. They had an initiative to get control of their ever-changing bill of materials and standardizing the process to make sure that all their locations were working with the same data. And as you can see from the quote on the screen, they were able to achieve that globally across multiple divisions. Today, we have talked about how the BOM carries a design intent for your product, and it spans the entire life cycle of the product. Everything you check in becomes your structured, up-to-date engineering bill of materials. Then it allows you to hand off the BOM from engineering to other functions where it evolves with business-critical details. We also looked at how you can eliminate manual efforts and data entry in separate systems so teams can work more efficiently and avoid costly mistakes. So that solution is called Vault PLM. It helps you manage your product data in one central location that is accessible to all, speed up your product development and business processes, and extend the value of your product data throughout your entire organization. So you're probably thinking, so now what? If you're interested in learning more about bill of materials management specifically, or what else PDM and PLM has to offer, please reach out to Tanya. Let's get together to see how Vault PLM can help your team. Okay, that's it for me. Tanya, do we have any questions in the queue?
Thanks, Tom. I do have a few. The first one would be, how is Vault PLM connected to other things like ERP? Shaya? Or Imran?
Yeah, sure. Great question. Vault PLM can be connected to an ERP or an MRP. We would recommend connecting Vault PLM via the open API that PLM provides our customers. So that means that it's going to be an easy integration that allows basically a live integration, so you don't have to wait overnight for the data transfer to happen. It can happen instantaneously. And how does it happen? It could be a direct integration via .NET or using middleware, depending on what sort of capabilities you have in your organization. So there are multiple options.
Perfect. Thanks, Shaya. There's another question here in the chat, question and answer. What is MBOM?
I can answer that one. So what an MBOM is, it's really like a manufacturing BOM, right? So, think about, your CAD that you're using right now, Inventor, you're using SolidWorks, there's different CAD products that are out there. You really start off by designing and start to kind of build up your recipe, right? There's other components that will go into that recipe, right? It's not just things that you're modeling and so forth. So think of your purchase components, right? Or think of, consumable products like paint, oil, grease, air that you need to add on as a separate line item, right? That's really where it gets into the manufacturing BOM. How do we manufacture this? Right? So there's different versions. You can call it an engineering BOM as well. There's manufacturing BOM, there's purchasing BOM, and so forth. So a BOM is just an evolution of your bill of materials. Again, it starts off within design, and then you build upon it, right? You start adding in other components, right? And you want to give that to full visibility, and that's really where PLM can shine.
Perfect. Thanks, Imran. I have another question here. Does Vault PLM only do BOM management?
So I can answer that one too. So Vault PLM, it doesn't just start off with BOM management. Think about your whole product, right? Your product starts off with an idea, a concept, right? There's robust workspaces inside of PLM that are included out of the box for new product design. You've got your quality, your change management, your change notifications and so forth, quality and so forth, right? I mean, it doesn't just stop with BOM. It starts with a BOM, but it expands. But think about it from how you start off with sales to all the way how your product gets out the door. PLM helps you manage all that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. There is another question. We use items in Vault. Can Vault PLM work with that?
Yeah, definitely. I'll answer that one again as well. Yeah, inside of Vault, you have file management and you have BOM management. Getting that into PLM, either if you're using items or the file management, we have ways of getting that data into PLM.
Great. Okay, I see one last question here. If we already have all of our information in spreadsheets, how can we get information into PLM?
I can help you guys out with that one too. Yeah, so I mean, that was kind of the main concept of our our webinar today. I see it all the time as well. Like Tom said, is like we go on site before COVID times, and we start to see the stacks and stacks of bill of materials that are stuck in Excel spreadsheets, right? Again, you want to try to get away from that, because now it's like a document that's moving around. How do I know what's latest and so forth, right? Even though it's inside of an Excel spreadsheet, we can take that and we can upload that into PLM as well, right? So, if you're massaging it inside of Excel, we have capabilities that we can use it, or we can take a look at it from a CAD standpoint of, what CAD system are you using and how we can upload that into PLM as well.
Perfect, thank you. So there's currently no more questions left. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes to see if anything comes up. And again, if you want to type your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom, please feel free to do that.
There's a question that we get quite often from our customers, and I thought maybe you can share that with our audience today. We hear a lot from them saying, okay, so we have an ERP, and then that is, to some extent, is supposed to manage your BOM. You may or may not have a PLM or Vault. We have different kind of systems. Which system should we use for BOM management, right? It's a question that comes up quite often. So the answer is really, if you look at an ERP by definition, it's for transactional type processes, anything to do with cost, ordering, and so on. And it handles the BOM. But when it comes to ordering the components for a BOM, when it comes to setting up prices and so on, when it comes to, as Emran was mentioning, the EBOM or the MBOM, different versions of BOM, and managing that, you want to have a more CAD-friendly environment, a more user-friendly environment where you can manage those different versions of BOM, and that would be your PLM. And with the connection to your ERP, now you have your costs coming from the source, which is your ERP, and your BOM being managed where it's supposed to be managed, which would be your PLM.
Okay, thanks, Shaya, for that information. So there's still no questions right now in the Q&A panel. Give it another minute. Okay, I think there's no more questions. Tom, do you want to end this, or?
Yep, I'll just take over now. Okay. Just before we sign off though, please keep an eye on the SolidCAD events page for more PDM and PLM related webinars throughout the year. We'll be covering topics like change management, supplier management, and a new product introduction. So thank you everyone again for joining us. This concludes our webinar. Have a great day.